the
and I wanna
okay.
get this out because a lot of people just they have these they just don't have, they don't think, and there's somebody that is close to us that I knew for over probably 30 years as a male, and they have went in and had a the full Monty.
The full Monty. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, they're so they, they prefer to be called she. And I asked because I it's just really hard for me to fathom, you know, that to make that decision, especially that late in life,
Mm.
you know? And so I knew that it had to be something traumatic. And I just wanted, and I said, you don't have to say anything. You don't owe me an explanation. I don't expect one. I said, I just want to know how the thought process brought you to this place so late in life. And he had lost his wife to cancer. And, but there was always, talk that he wore women's lingerie and women's underwear and stuff like that underneath his clothes, but he always, was like a truck driver and had, like a blue collar job.
How did you
So
hear that he would be wearing, like
it was
is this
because
something that he was confiding in you?
no, he was confiding in his wife, and his wife was a friend of my wife.
Oh, okay, so alright.
But we're a pretty non-judgment fucking, crew at my crib. And, he told me that when he was young, like 5 to 10, those years, that he was raped and sodomized and molested repetitively by 3 males, uh, that were in his, either uncle, a brother, cousin, whatever it was. And that when his wife passed, he just didn't wanna ever see another penis, including on himself, and he went through the transformation. And you think about how fucking sad that is, and it's like, before you fucking judge, you've gotta take that fucking you've and people don't, we man, and I'm as guilty as everybody. I'm as guilty as everybody. I jump to my fucking bullshit because I'm always fucking right conclusions. And there's a lot of shit that goes on in this world that's fucked up. And at 50 years old, if that move fucking takes an ounce of that pain away, then fuck yes.
Mhm.
And if he walks by somebody, they don't have a right to say shit to him.
Yeah. And I think what happens today is, be movements like this are like a pendulum, and they go to their maximum, and then they start to retract again a little and come towards center. So there has been such a push for openness and acceptance, which is fine. What tends to happen though is the extreme, we always talk about the extremes on the show. The extreme cases get spotlighted, and it draws ridicule because you're hearing about one particular case and not the median average of what folks emotionally have to go through to get to this point. And I have a daughter in high school, so this theme is prevalent in high schools and even in elementary schools. So that discussion, how does one know that this is the chosen path that they were given? I don't know that I would know at 5, 10, 12, even if I were having feelings that were different. I don't know that I could have been trusted to make such a decision. I
Huh.
know girls in that my daughter knew who were addressed as he's for a while. They were she's. She knew them in she's. Then it was the he's. And then within the 4 years, they were back to she's. So it's separating the extreme cases that make people raise eyebrows with the situations that the difficult situation where someone is dealing with an identity crisis, and it's probably a very small case, but because it gets spotlit, it becomes the talking point.
You know, and another thing that you always have to put into the equation is, um, you could be from a very rural area and have very little contact with people your own age. And you could become sexually curious, and really the only choice you have, you know, in front of you is somebody of the same sex. Doesn't any means, form, or fashion mean you're homosexual, bisexual. It's just that you're experimenting. I think there's a lot of people out there that probably experimented with somebody of the same sex, and then found that that wasn't wasn't what they were looking for, or wasn't. And as they got older
Summer of '92.
yeah, well, but you see, I'm always trying to be serious, and I was fucking around.
I am. The
But I'm just saying though that I mean it's just because I sang that the purpose of a woman is to love a man, and the purpose of I sang that just because it came to my mind. And when I got done singing it, I said, wow, that was such a fucking homophobic song that I just sang. And it's not how I feel in any form or fashion. The purpose of everybody is to love everybody. It doesn't matter what as long as as long as you're happy. And
the other thing too, this story that you're responding to, Joe from Pennsylvania, right, with the skirt.
yeah.
Cross-dressing, or I think he's just dressing for comfort. I mean, I don't think this is an identity crisis, or was.
I think he's got a fucking hell of a set of calves, like a lot of those fucking dudes do that you see that get on the plane. They're overweight, but they got those giant calves, and they're just a fat dude in a pair of pants, but in a kilt. The fucking calves on that motherfucker.
I mean, you don't know. He might have elephantitis of the nuts. You don't know these things. But this is not an identity. He just is more comfortable. But even with cross-dressers, would that be transvestites, where a lot of the men who were dressing like women, I'm told, were straight. They sleep with women. They're not attracted to men, but they longed to dress like the women that they were with.
Well, women's clothing is fucking way more stylish. I mean, just.
Oh, this fucking thong. I've been rocking and rolling in this seat, going back and flossing for the last half hour. But all right. So anyway, so for Joe in Pennsylvania,
I can't find clothes for a dude to fit me, so I'm really fucked. I have to get the old singer out and make my own shit.
So Joe in Pennsylvania, who just enjoys wearing skirts, he should continue to do this and just tell his family to fuck off.
Especially when your fucking wife's cool with it. I mean, that's kind of the, you the person in our last one was the guy that was, she was sticking in there, but he was wandering, off the reservation to the point of
getting a change. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but it was almost like, let's be friends to his wife. And she was like, well, I didn't, we can still be friends, but not, not under the guise of us being married, because, if you're going to do your thing, I'm going to do my thing. Yeah, we can stay friends, but just realize that I'm a female, and by the time you get changed, I'm going to be it starts at 50% for the female. So you're going to get fucked.